into tech as a DevOps engineer. I started with Linux. And then since then, I've been having my little journey in tech, ups and downs, good and bad days. It's pretty challenging, I would say. Some days I felt very discouraged, but at some point I was like, I really love the tech thing and it's possible, especially DevOps that don't really require you to have a lot of tech background. So I was kind of able to um, skill up gradually. Like, in tech, it's a continuous learning process. So there's no one day that I'll not learn something, I'll say. And then I'm also the founder of Lumia Tech because I was looking into a community of people like me, like African people in tech. And I was like, okay, why not create one? So I started on WhatsApp group. We created a community gradually, and then on TikTok, now we are an academy where we offer training, we do tech talk. We do a lot of things in the community. It's really interesting.
Yeah. Um, Sorry, I went on mute a little bit. Baby girl's over there. She's not happy right now, so we may get a little disturbance. I'll try to keep that out of the equation. But great background. Glad that you shared that you're coming from a different career possibly, and then like, hey, I want to get in. And how did you stumble across DevOps? I mean, that's typically people's background. They'll go straight to like IT and just start working IT help desk and stuff like that. Can you share some insights about like how did you discover the space?
Oh, okay. Well, someone introduced me to Linux, where I started with Linux. So, from creating virtual machines and then working on the command lines and writing bash shell scripting, you know, and then from Linux, DevOps at some point was really the the domain that many people were diving into. When in the community, for instance, in the African community, you have some jobs that will be on the trend. Like you had a period where Scrum Master was blooming, nursing assistant were blooming. So when we have those seasons, a lot of people dive into that specific domain. So that's how I got to dive into DevOps, and it just came across at the right time because having that Linux background really helped me a lot in understanding the DevOps tools, building those CI/CD pipeline and everything. So
Nice.
that's how I always advise people, like start with Linux, networking, then DevOps.
I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
then cloud.
I love that. Oh, I went on mute again. Sorry about that. I love that. I love that background. And so just to from so prior to the adoption of Linux and learning deep diving into Linux, uh, were you Windows, and then you started? Were you at least familiar with Windows, or Linux was the first OS that you started getting busy and learning deep into that OS?
Well, as I was studying, when I was doing my bachelor's degree or master's degrees, I had a computer and I had a Windows operating system. So, but I will not really say I can be a Windows admin. So on the GUI, I kind of know how to create files, how to create folder, the basic knowledge. But when it came to like diving into IT, I dived straight into Linux.
Yeah. And so like when you jumped into Linux, did you have? I know you said you had someone that was there with you. How important would you say like community is, and it's in mentorship, and as far as like your segue into the space?
Okay, so when I dive in, I have no knowledge of what a mentor is or how important a mentor can be. I only learned it, I think it was a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, you understand? So I was just doing an online training with the students, and the lecturer or the teacher, and that's it. Regarding community, I wasn't also aware of the importance of community. And back then I was in Cameroon, I didn't even realize the importance of LinkedIn to say, okay, you can go get networking from LinkedIn. No, that was only once I came into the United States that I really started understanding the importance of belonging to a community, networking with people, that's really how it went.
Yeah, and then you took a different route because most people, they see a gap and they, all right, whatever, I'm just moving along. But you decided to go to the next level, which I would consider like that you leaned into that entrepreneurship spirit. Is that something that you've always had, or is that something that you had to develop? Because most people, once they get to the point they want to start sell a product or an offering, they choke up and they freeze. And did you have any troubles
Mm.
over there, or was it seamless for you?
Well, I think the entrepreneurial background I kind of have a little bit. So back in Cameroon, I used to sell. You know how you buy some goodies and then you sell and then you have a profit. So I did that when I was a child, when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And then also I am a baker. So before even being into IT, I used to bake, and then you know how I would propose my services on social media, on my status, and have clients. So in terms of entrepreneurial spirit or buying and selling, I kind of have it a little bit. I think it helps, and also being able to not be shy in proposing your services, because it can be challenging, it can
Yeah.
challenge you to offer these services, presenting in a way that people are actually valuing what you're offering. So I think that helped a lot. But in the beginning, it wasn't really to put an academy in place. It was just really to get more people like me, more women that we could share together, because it was tough and it was challenging for me, not coming from a tech background. It's still even challenging, but I was like, if we tackle some of these things together, then it will be a lot easier. So in the beginning, it was really all about creating a community of women that can support each other. Like we can have study group where we share these things together. And then sometimes you can be overwhelmed with all the workloads. You can be depressed, you can be anxious, you can have a lot of personal other challenges that you have as a mother or as a wife, all the other roles that you have to play. And then at some point, it just become too overwhelming. So I was really looking into people that are living the same reality with me, that we can really tackle these things together. And I was a fresh new immigrant in the United States, so even get to understanding the culture. Everybody is indoor, and so in the beginning, really, Lumiatech was really about building a community of people that come together. And I'm very happy because the more we do TikTok live, the more we get to have more women. Very powerful and challenging. I'm so amazed by the women that you've been on my life and then you see those powerful women that are coming and then they are sharing, and it's very encouraging.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, even for the young girls to be able to see those women, to see us. We've tried. I will not say we've succeeded, but in a world that can be challenging for the girl, it's always important for them to have like figures that they can look up to say, okay, if they are able to do it, then it's possible, and then we will work hard as well.
Yeah. Um, okay, I'm gonna stop muting because I sorry for the delays.
No
Let me
worries, you're good.
let me reset the room. I want to start inviting folks up. I see several familiar faces. Welcome in Cyber Secrets, J Tech, Angelique, Cuckoo, Nighthawk, 4144. Welcome in. Mana, Chris the Coach, Gladys, and others. Welcome in, welcome in. We're talking about women in tech. We want to hear about your experiences. We want to hear about the different barriers. We have Lumia Techs in the building. She's been transparent and just walking us through different things that she has going on. Amazing story. And I have some questions, but this is not just the Nate show. Y'all know how I do it. I welcome folks up. So request up, come up, ask questions, share some of your experiences, trials, tribulations, successes. We want the pro tips. We need those pro tips out there. So Lumia Text, you said that you started with WhatsApp and then it just started. I'm assuming organically growing. What's been like the growth over time? Is it just has it been a just spike and ramp up, or is it slow and steady? What's some of the feedback there?
I think it has really not spiking, but kind of like increasing slope, I would say. Um, Community makes the difference. Having people that comes together um, and sharing the same goals, it actually makes a difference. Okay, one simple example is to have your colleagues that are working hard and then they're having a lot of certification. It's challenging for you. It's either you try to work hard to be at their level, or you might have this feeling of you left behind. So community is good in the sense that when people actually are leveling up, it kind of challenges you to say, okay, maybe you are probably you are probably too comfortable, and then it can bring you to move out of your comfort zone. It's also interesting in the sense that when you have this, tech is advancing so fast, technology is advancing so fast, especially in the realm of AI. You cannot say you will know everything, or you might know everything that's going on. But you have people who are like-minded like you, or who have this love for sharing, that will get an information and then they will share it to the community, that will get a course or even an opportunity, and then they get to share it to the community. So I've really come to understand that it's good to belong to a community and then to just evolve with people.
Yeah, and so you're clearly the leader, and been driving force and the innovator behind everything. Have you had because when I walked into the live, there was other people who was dominating the conversation, and they were crushing it. Is that something that you've seen? Some of the people who are you're surrounded by, they rise up, and they're are they just taking efforts are they leaning into it on their own, or is this something that you're pointing, hey, you're voluntold, I need you to how's that working right now?
Oh, I'm definitely not the smartest in the room when it comes to tech. Like even though I'm the leader, I'm not the smartest. You understand? I'm just very good at putting people together. And I'm really good at letting people express themselves and rising without the need for me to, always being the person that is having all the credit. So even on my life sometimes, and then I find someone that is spotlighting, I'd rather mute and let the person really inspire other people. So I'm not the leader because I am Einstein or I'm the most knowledgeable. And I told you, I'm not initially from tech, so I did migrated. Now, your question is to know if I'm always the one giving directive or
Are you
asking people.
yeah, are you like picking certain are you seeing like growth in certain people and like, oh, they would be great to take step into this type of position, or are you or are people like just raising their hand, volunteering themselves?
So actually, people come to my inbox and then they're kind of asking me for some advice, like, this is where I am at. What will you advise for me for my next move? And I will give the person a little bit of advice, but what I would do is to maybe bring up a TikTok or a live and get other like-minded people advise the person. So that's also how the community is very important, to get other experts come and give advices to newbies or to people that are kind of like wanting some orientation. You
Gotcha.
understand?
Yeah.
So I'm not always like I know everything. I will tell you what I know because I will make sure that what I'm telling you is the truth. But I will also want to give room for other people to kind of like jump in and advise you.
Yeah, that's a skill. I mean, being able to say when you don't know something and raise your hand and lean on folks that people who've been there, done that, it'll save so much more time. And I want to pivot over to the boot camp. Like, I want to learn about it. I'm interested. What am I getting myself into if I say green light, go, let's get started tomorrow? Or is there a cohort situation? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so the way we started the boot camp was like we started by sharing about DevOps, having this content on DevOps, really just sharing the passion that we had for it. Because I say we because I have other partners that we collaborators, and then people were like, "Why don't you guys train? Why don't you guys offer training so that the rest of us we can benefit from these skills and competencies?" So that's really how we put the bootcamp in place. We have like 4 bootcamp now. We train on Linux and then accompany you with your certification. We train on DevOps. We do DevOps membership and then we do cloud. And recently we do networking. So the idea is really to create an academy where you can have all of these tech fields they come together, because sometimes you can go for a Linux bootcamp, then you need to find another bootcamp if you want to get another skills. So we're looking for experts in each domain to come together so that you can get sort of like all in one. We also have like a bootcamp for cybersecurity. So the idea is really to bring all of these domains together, because sometimes they are interconnected.
Yeah, I love that. And is it does each of the programs have varying in length, or are they all pretty much have the same amount of time that you're investing yourself?
Oh, they have, depending on the program that you're going into, you have different time frame. Like for the DevOps bootcamp, you likely count like over 6 months, but for the mentorship, it's just 3 months. The cybersecurity tool is 6 months, and the Linux I think is 4 months. Well, the number of months I think sometimes it doesn't really count is the skills that you're building, because I feel like in tech, once you start your journey, you will keep learning till they just every day you have to learn.
Yeah, yeah. And we got Gladys up here. Welcome in Gladys. She will be a future guest that also pushes community first. And Gladys, did you have a question or you got a comment? Any experience you want to share? We're talking, you know, breaking barriers to different growth paths to pro tips. We need those pro tips.
Well, good evening. So I jumped in because I think I saw a sister talking, and I was like, wow, it's time to jump up. And I think I heard she's from Cameroon, so I'm also from Cameroon. Yeah, so we're doing this, girl. We're doing this, and we are changing lives. I think it's what it's all about for us, changing lives. As women, it is not easy in tech. I'm cybersecurity career coach for those who don't know me. So I help people get into cybersecurity. And so it's just helping change lives. And I jumped in because I saw her talking. So yeah, we're doing this. And if you need my inputs, I'm just gonna be here and try to chime in where I can.
I'll get some cheers and claps going, y'all. What's up, Jay Rock? Jay Rock the house.
What's
How you
up?
doing? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourselves? How
Hey,
about
we're
yourselves?
doing well. Welcome in. We're talking about women in tech. Any questions, comments, ideas, any experiences that you want to share with us from either directly or indirectly?
Um, I followed you a while back, and I was interested. Um, this is my first time actually like coming on a live and partaking in your live. And my question was, I've recently switched my degree over to information systems. So my question was, how do I crush the competition? I'm highly competitive. I'm looking to break through all the noise. I'm straight signal. I don't got no time to waste, and I'm ready to put in every bit of work. I'm not lazy at all. So what really makes me crush the competition? Where can I stand out, and what can I do? No matter how hard it is, I don't really care how hard it is.
Yeah, let's take a tangent real quick. So, where'd you say you're gonna? What tech, IT, networking, cyber, AI? What'd you say?
Information systems. So me, I seen that cloud analyst. I'm not really too sure what exactly entails in cloud analyst or whatever, but
Problem
I
number
like the
one.
pay.
We got to figure that out. You have to know that.
Mm.
Lumia Text or Gladys, back me up here as far as where you're going. um, and what roles that you are gunning towards.
Well,
Yeah, I think it depends. So currently where you are, what do you have so far to offer? That's where the road is from.
nothing. I'm in my first year. I don't have anything to offer. I want to know how what I should really put my time towards so that I come out the best.
Well, the thing is, you can be best in any of them. So you have to look at your background based on your background, then you can move on with the future. You have to do the basics first, and you cannot focus on everything. You have to decide what you want, and that's based on your background. So when you say you're still in your first year, what do you mean? Are you in college or something?
Yeah, so I'm in my first year. Um, really, cloud analyst sounds nice, but overall, I'd probably like to get into tech sales. But honestly, I feel like once I build my resume a certain amount and get certain amount of hard skills, I can really transition to anything in that area as long as I have those skills. I really like to be versatile and have my opportunities open to as much as I can, and that helps me jump from company to company. And that's usually what I do to increase my pay. Not every month, but probably maybe every year and a half or 2 years.
So, Gerald, are you more of a passion oriented or you are kind of like
Hard
scholarship
work,
oriented?
craftsman's mindset. I
What
don't
does
believe
that
in
mean?
passion.
Sorry, what does that mean? Craftsman.
Craftsman's mindset, like hard skills, building your craft, honing your craft. I believe that you don't enjoy your work when you start to do it. You enjoy your work after you get good at it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's something you can anchor to really good. And but the biggest gap that we have right now is that you don't know where you're going. You have an idea and it sounds unclear. So I think you need to clear that up as crystal as you can. Get hyper focused on what's available. Do some research. Go follow Lumia Tex. Go see what she has going on with the boot camp.
Absolutely.
Go follow Gladys. Go see what she has going on with her school. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and if you want to crush it, you have to get hyper focused on what you really, really want to do, and then build that craft. Lean into those pillars and those principles that you're mentioning.
Yeah, you can't do everything at the same time. You got to start somewhere. And I heard you talk about cloud. I know a lot of people say I want to get into cloud and all that, man. Those careers are not easy. It's easy said than done. So it's best to start
Life.
somewhere that's easier and then you walk your way up from there. But fundamentals are the way to go. You want to get the fundamentals as soon as you can. One thing I've seen helping people, at least from my school community, people talk a lot about. First, they focus on watching free content, right? Like watching YouTube, just using ChatGPT for free, coming on TikTok lives like this. Like over time, you're gonna find your passion. Like no one can tell you what's your passion. Over time, you're gonna be like, oh my god, what this person said makes sense. What these people are saying makes sense. And I think that's how you're gonna find where you wanna go just by doing research. Like we can tell
So
you that.
So,
I hear a lot about this passion. That's the book I'm currently reading now. It's called "So Good They Can't Ignore You" by Cal Newport, and he basically denies the passion theory. I don't believe in the passion theory. I never really have. I believe in skills, and I agree with you say. I got to build the fundamentals. I completely agree with that, and that's where I'm basically starting from the bottom. So, but my thing is like, okay, yeah, I'm actively looking towards internships, but I mean more so like what skills will get me to stand out to the highest employers so that I know, okay, once I get these fundamentals, this is exactly where I'm going. A matter of fact, I'm already on this, so I can be ahead of the game.
so one
Well,
thing, another thing that I would suggest, Gerald, is to go towards the people that are already in the field actually. forecasting yourself in. So I don't know a lot on um, cybersecurity fields, but if I want to do cloud engineering, I will go look expert cloud engineering and I'll actually talk with them because they have the hands-on. They're really doing what I want to do, and then they're going to give me um, direct advices. You know, it's not going to be anything speculative. They're going to tell you, okay, if you want to do what I'm currently doing, this is the path that you need to take. These are the skills that will be required. So you actually need to go speak to those people that are already into what you want, and then you need to first of all figure. You first of all need to figure out what you want. Then you go speak to them actually, and they have like a very interesting information from them because if I'm not doing what you want to do, I will just be speculating and then you giving you sort of probability. But if you go speak to someone that is already doing what you want, you know, it's going to be more interesting in terms of insights.
Yeah, I back that 100%. I think we're beating it up at this point. So, J Rock the house. Keep working hard, bro. Keep with that mentality and keep asking questions and keep being inquisitive and coming up on forums and putting yourself out there. That's the most important thing that you can do. That's going to separate you from getting the right guidance. But at the end of the day, I think that mentorship and community is the answer for you and knowledge, self education. That's it, bro. You get that, and then you'll be in a good space to reverse engineer and map out that path of to answer those questions that you're trying to get answered. So let's keep it moving, y'all. Good stuff, J Rock the house. J Tech, do you have a question, experience, or ideas, comments? What you got over there?
Yeah, what's up, bro? I was just gonna kind of chime in on what J Rock was talking about. Um, Being that he is kind of undecided at the moment, y'all were correct. The first thing he needs to do is just identify what route he wants to take, because there's many routes in IT that you can take that will lead you to big money if you know like specialized skills. So like early in your IT career, your general knowledge is gonna feel like you're making a lot of progress because you're learning a bunch of different tools, a bunch of different concepts, and different technologies you're getting experience with. But if you really want to move on to the big money, you're gonna have to get specialized in a certain area of IT because eventually the employers are gonna stop paying you for general knowledge and really look at what can you really offer them. Again, that's specialized. Um, so you're right. Just picking a route, getting deep into that is how you're really gonna get to like the six-figure bracket and above.
I like that. Well said. The specialties, these vendor specific, and let's talk about that a little bit. Lumia Text. What are some of the vendor specific type of certs or programs or things that are out technology that's out there that are helping once you adopt it? Ooh, you look fire on the resume. Is there anything that comes to mind immediately?
Immediately, I think it's anything that has to do with AI. You know, anything AI search. I think they are probably what is blooming right now. Back in the days, it used to be like cloud certification or Kubernetes certification. Well, I'll speak because I'm in DevOps, so those are the ones that I know. But I think having like this, having your domain and then having like some AI additional skills kind of make you stand out right now because a lot of companies are really looking into more AI skilled people, not necessarily AI engineer for say, but people that really have like some skills in terms of automation that really could come in and kind of make them fill the gap with the all the AI trend that is currently going on.
I like that. Yeah, it's definitely buzzing. Um, so as far as like let's create a scenario to kind of chat about um, women in tech. You got all the certs, got all the degrees. I know you stacked up with all kind of degrees. Um, barriers, there's still barriers in play today, even with all the right pieces in place. Um, are you finding issues with all the right pieces in place? Are you finding issues still breaking through, getting in certain conversations and getting pushback and unnecessarily, especially if you hit all of the items on the list?
A question for me.
It could be Gladys, yourself, or anyone in the panel, or anyone in the chats.
So, in tech, I don't know if there is any level of cert or any level of knowledge that really would make someone feel he has figured everything out. Well, I'm speaking personally because each day I'm still like, I still need to figure a lot of this out. But I think you still kind of need to get to a level where you are very comfortable with whatever field that you are in. And then I think you mentioned about degrees and certification. Looks to me like in the United States, those are not what is what companies value the most. I think companies really value competency over degrees. I'll say that from my own personal experience, where you can still not have a United States degree and still be able to have a job in the United States based on what you know, based on what you're capable to do. But then degrees are very important, certification are also very important.
I like that. Okay, let's pivot real quick. I think that we got 30 people in here right now. For the folks that are maybe women in tech that are currently don't know where to go, don't know the first step, but I want to break into tech. Can you give us kind of a roadmap into where do we go first? What are the very first steps that we should be taking?
Gladys, do you want to answer that?
Well, yeah, for me, it's that's an easy question. So, I kind of have my own separate roadmap, but that's very specific to cybersecurity. It won't necessarily apply to the whole of tech, but I would say I think it would apply to most sectors of tech because first you need to make sure you understand the fundamentals. Just like I said to the guy earlier, you cannot say you want to get into tech and you're trying to do everything. So pick a field first and then understand the fundamentals of that field. Again, you can do that with free information on YouTube and other platforms. You don't have to pay anyone for this step. No, no, no. You got to do free stuff first, understand the fundamentals, try to join communities that are doing whatever you're trying to do. So let's say you've picked DevSecOps. All right, find DevSecOps community. Go to LinkedIn, look them up, Google, wherever you want to find. You're going to find communities. That's where you start, and you start just mingling with the people who are already there. They're going to start giving you little tidbits of information here and there, and then from there you can just work your way up. Uh, in the cybersecurity space, which I think is applies in the whole of tech, you do have to have at least some type of certification to begin with. So once you mingle with these people and you feel comfortable, your next step is thinking, okay, what certification do I need to get to start in this field? You need to get at least one entry level certification depending on what you want to do. So once you get that certification, my next recommended step is usually to do hands-on training because no one will hire you, unfortunately, if you cannot do the job. Nobody wants to train these days. This is not nursing where they're going to train you. This is not, they want you to come in ready, knowing what you're doing because on a lot of tech roles, you do have a lot of access to things. I think that's why a lot of companies are scared. Like you have a lot of access. You will have admin access to like a lot of tools. And so you could come in and turn down the whole company just by pressing one button, right? So nobody wants that to happen. And that's where comes the hands-on training. I'm just trying to explain this in the layman terms for anyone who's not yet in tech, right? That is the reason why you need to understand how the job is being done in tech before you move into the role. Now, This doesn't mean you have to know everything. No, they just want you to know a few tools, know how the job role works. And in order to do this, you have to choose one thing inside of that domain. Whatever you choose, let's say if you went with cybersecurity, for example, then inside of cybersecurity, you do have to choose one specific domain inside of cybersecurity and focus on that for the hands on training. And I think after this step, basically your next step is to move on to the last step, which is finding the job hunting. At this step is where I feel like you may get help with someone, with a coach, a friend, whoever has been in the field before. This person is gonna fast track everything for you rather than you staying in the market and waiting forever, right? So that's kind of my recommended steps there in summary.
I love that. We got Precious on. Welcome in, Precious. If you wanted to layer in something there, feel free, or I can take it in a different
Yeah.
direction.
Hi. Hi, Lumia. Hi, Gladys.
Hello,
J-Tech,
Precious.
hi.
What's up?
So I kind of feel like I find big sisters. I got into cloud computing early last year. Someone from here walking me through it. So I've done some fundamental certifications on Microsoft Azure, AZ900. I've done SC900. So this year I got into my first year. I'm trying to get my first degree in cybersecurity. So, but I don't have it all figured out. She said she's in cloud. She said Gladys says she's in cybersecurity. So I kind of feel like these are two different parts, and I'm doing them at the same time. Kind of confused right now.
Well, I want to first celebrate it. So let's throw some cheers out there, claps, all that good stuff. The fact that you're in the mix and you're already in the mix. Yeah, so it's like you're into the momentum, and then tapping into, I think, Gladys and Lumia Text like you have been, and I think that's amazing. Like that community piece is undeniable, especially if you find the right community, you find the right people that are right for you. So I applaud what you have going on. I know that you said there's still some, I'll use the word concern, but do you have specific, like, oh, I'm running into this right now, and if this was easier, then life would be better? Anything like that happening?
I don't get that question. Can you say that again?
Any specific hurdles that you're experiencing right now?
Not really. Just I don't know how to get into the job. I don't know how to get myself into the job. Yeah, everyone tells me apply. I apply, but not seriously. Then I kind of feel like I don't know so much yet, but they said I know because I create a lot of content around cloud stuff. So getting into the job I feel like it's hard.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is you don't have to know a lot. That's the good news. You don't have to know everything. So I think you're on the right path. But you said you are a bit confused on where you are right now, or is it more of where you want to be? Like, have you decided
Yes,
what you
where I want
to
to
do?
be, it's a bit confusing to me. You know why? Because my mentor taking me on cloud computing is taking me towards the direction of DevOps right now. But then cybersecurity, it's security, right? So these are two different paths for me. In my 4 years degree, I'm going to do cybersecurity, but right on my training, I'm going towards DevOps direction. So how do I match these two skills?
Wait, why do you think you have two skills? What do you have in? I've heard you talk about DevOps skills. What do you have in the cybersecurity space?
Okay, I'm still in my first year. If we're still on the basics, I've not really figured out what I want on cybersecurity.
First year of what? Are you in college?
Yes,
Studying what?
cybersecurity.
Oh, okay, interesting. But you have DevOps certifications, is that correct?
I'm preparing for my DevOps for certification.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
not
like
done
Lumia.
any DevOps.
I mean, the answer is clear. If you're doing a first year in cybersecurity, then that's where you want to go. Like, where is the? I don't see the confusion. If you decided to go into a cybersecurity degree, then I guess you've made a choice, because you won't get a cybersecurity degree to go into DevOps, right?
Okay.
No, I like
So
where you're going,
I think
Precious.
she said she's also into cloud, right? Which means if you're into cloud and then you're also into cybersecurity, I think Kedis is here. She'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at some point you will be going towards like DevSecOps or cloud security engineering. Because actually you can do both. Like you can actually do DevOps cloud because it wouldn't make sense for you to do cloud without DevOps, and then you can add the security. Not sure if cybersecurity is actually what makes you to become DevSecOps. Kedis would answer me because I'm not a DevSecOps yet.
No, so cybersecurity will not necessarily, but it's an advantage because you have in-depth security knowledge on that part. But specifically with DevSecOps, it's just streamlining security in the software development lifecycle. So cybersecurity can be a piece when it comes to, for example, implementing security controls in your application or in the software that you guys are building. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, which means at this point she should be able to choose if she's either going for cybersecurity or she's going into cloud and DevOps.
Yes, she has to make a choice.
Yeah.
It's either she decides if she wants to pursue her career in cybersecurity or DevOps. But right now, in let's say for example in my team, they're advising the cybersecurity folks to have a deeper knowledge on DevSecOps. So I know of cybersecurity folks that are pivoting towards that part, like not like a career drift, but at least have knowledge about how security is handled in that domain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing for you is to make a choice. Someone said in the chat that I'm having a not nice tone to you. I apologize if that's how you felt, but this is me. That's how I coach. I go straight to the point. I try to understand your situation, and I'm just trying to help. And I'm staying because I've heard your same situation before over and over again with some of my clients. So, best situation for you right now is to make a choice,
Okay.
and then in the future you can always switch to DevSecOps in the future, because DevSecOps is not so entry level like that. So it since you're already doing the cybersecurity degree, I think it makes sense to just choose one, and then in the future you can say, oh, I want to do DevSecOps, whatever works for you in the future. But the best thing to do first is get your foot in the door. That's the most important thing, and that's the most difficult part.
And what can actually get me into the door, like you said, is my already cloud skill I have already, because I'm still in my very basic in cyber. So now, if I should get myself in with cloud skills, do you think I would eventually make use of cyber skills that would eventually get in my degree course?
Well, I think in the future, like I said, if you decide to go with cloud, I think your question is, if I decide to go with cloud, what's going to happen to my cyber skills, right? In the future, that cybersecurity knowledge is going to help you if you want to get into DevSecOps. That is the only
Okay,
situation.
I get
In the
it now.
future, you want to
Yeah.
do DevSecOps. But DevSecOps, I think, is basically more cyber, more of the development side, coupled with cybersecurity knowledge. So you do have to have cybersecurity knowledge. So I think it will make sense in the future, but not right now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
And then you mentioned something about you applying but not really being intentional with your
Yeah.
application. Why is that? I mean, I know the tech job market is crazy right now. It's something else.
Yeah, I've not been intentional with applying. Maybe I don't know the right way to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I
I've,
jump in? So
can I get, okay?
Oh, sorry. How has the experience been with recruiters? We had this topic yesterday. It was a blazing hot topic. What's been your experience with good, bad, and different with recruiters?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, just I'm curious to know. Have you reached out to any of the Robert Half's tech systems, or check to see the IT staffing agencies in your neighboring metropolitan area or current city?
No, I didn't reach out myself, but on LinkedIn, 2 recruiters reached out, and I did forward my resume, but I didn't get a response. So I applied the quick apply. I did some places. I've not gotten any response yet. So I kind of feel like there is an issue, there is a gap somewhere. And that's the more reason I get into the degree, because I don't have my degree on my resume. So I felt maybe that's where the gap is coming from. That's why I enrolled this year.
Oh man, this thing is coming up again. Well, you all are gonna say I'm raw, but guys, I'm tired of hearing people saying they're going back to school because they can't get a job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to be honest. Like, a degree will not get you the job. I'm not trying to discourage you. You're already in there, but I just wish so many people would have spoken to me before taking certain decisions. But we always meet someone later on. But
Is it wasted
I'm a
time? Can she still capitalize leveraging that degree to transition into the roles that she's trying to break into?
Yeah, she still can, but I'm just trying to tell her that's not going to be the solution. That's not the reason why you're not getting a job. You should, even if
Yes,
you're
I
in
use the same
school,
resume for
great.
all jobs application.
Yeah, even if you're in school, that's fine. No education is lost, right? You're just gonna be. I think you should still continue applying for jobs if you think you have the right skills. Because most of the time, what I've seen is people who don't hear back from recruiters and stuff, it's because they don't have enough hands on skills.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the degree. So I think check on the labs that you have done. Like, do the labs that you have done align with the role you're looking for? And then look at your network too. I think that's when the issue comes most of the time, not necessarily the degree.
Yeah, we're running out of time. But Precious, if you will allow, what will you are you willing to share some of the roles that you are targeting? What's some of the key words that you're punching into these different job boards that are out there?
The ones I've done so far is just entry roles in cloud, as an administrator. Sometimes there are ways they state it, so those are the ones I look out for.
Yeah, so I'm gonna encourage you to look for some engineer roles and some beyond. Keep going, admin. That's cool, but I think we need engineers right now. There's a big demand for engineers. So I would look at that resume and see how to best surface up the different things that you've done and will be doing, such as labs and all that, to align with that specific role. You have to find that role. If it's cloud engineer, you may see AWS, Azure out there like you've been learning. But if it's just generally a security engineer, that's cool. That's cool too. There's a lot out there.
Okay, thank you.
Is that something that interests you, or any of those things that interest you, or or you still kind of tossing it around?
Yeah, I'm still, but I I feel good with Azure.
There you go. Go get it. Go get it. And by you say feel good, you've been inside of it. You've been inside of
Yeah.
Azure. Yeah, I say go for it. Full throttle. What you think, Lumia Tex?
I agree with Gladys. I think at some point we what really gets us the role is our competencies, the skills. I mean, I've been to a lot and I've been to a lot of interviews, and each time they're really looking into what are some of the projects that you've worked on, what are the things that you've built, how if we bring you in to the team, what is the value that you'll be able to bring? You know, are you able to solve these problems on your own? They are looking for specific things, you know. For me, I feel like degree is good, it's an addition, but at the end of the day, what makes the difference is the skills, our competency, you know, the experience. And that was one of the motivation that made me to launch like a mentorship program where we're able to work on this project, because actually working on project builds you real skills.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
So I would advise you in the meantime, as you're going in for certification, also look for projects, labs, you know, to keep working on them as you go, you move along your interview journey, you know, to keep working on this project. That's how you are able to build skills. And then also being intentional about your application, as Kedis and other people mentioned, adapting your resume to each jobs, you know, because AI sometimes is what filters those resume. And then I've realized that even in going through the interview is a whole skills that you actually need to master as well. Like you need to know how to answer this question, from the tell me about yourself to the other question that comes along. Um, these are the reason why I decided to put the tech community so that we can be able to share on this, you know, really have um, real feedback from other people, real advices, real help from other folks, so that we're able to win together.
That's it.
So how do I join the community?
Yeah, go to Lumia Tech's page, follow her. Everyone, follow Lumia Tech's. She has a community. She has an offer. She's helping folks. They are leaning in. I've been to the lives. Check out her live sessions, and it's a lot of knowledge sharing going on, and full transparency and helping each other lift each other up. So also check out Gladys's page. She's also doing the exact same thing, like just lifting each other up, building each other up, and educating. I think, Precious, thanks for letting us uh, deep dive a little bit into some of your experiences, because a lot of people are running into this situation where they're not kitting up. They're not getting the toolkit in place, and then once the toolkit is in place, then actually practicing the craft, and then getting that mindset in place to be able to go in and speak to the craft, speak to the experiences, and deliver whenever it's time to go introduce yourself to people, network, and that's how a lot of these opportunities are opening up for folks, through a lot of networking, being vulnerable, raising your hand, saying I don't know, and yeah. So let's. I think we're I could go for a little bit longer, but out of respect of Lumia Tech's time, and um, we do need to start wrapping it up. So with that, Lumia Text, let's leave you last, and let's start with Ketix or Gladys and J Tech. If you, let's go around horn real quick and any guidance, anything that's come up so far as like, hey, I wish I got a chance to say this piece to the audience, to the people. So Ketix, or I hope I'm saying your name right. Can you start first?
So one thing I would like to add is, in as much as what gets you the job are the skills that you have, but degrees too are also important. I wouldn't discourage someone that wants to pursue and have a degree or a master's in cybersecurity, DevOps, or whatever field that you want to have. It's also very important, especially in the long run. I'm talking personally from my experience. Like last year, where I currently work, so we had like an inner role for a more senior role. So I had lesser experience with someone that had experience for like 8 to 9 years. But because I had masters in cloud computing, that's what made me advance to that role.
Nice.
So I feel like it's also important if you want to get your degree, it's good, but also make sure that you are building those skills too along. So yeah.
I like that. We got a degrees and certs conversation coming up this Thursday. I need you to come in here and say that exact line. No, I'm just playing. J Tech or anyone, Gladys, feel free to come off mute, and we're just going to go round horn, and then we're going to get everyone out of here. Anything?
Yeah, I just want to say,
Yep.
just want to say, just make sure you're learning with a purpose. There's always something in IT to learn. There's always something new to learn. I hear a lot of conversation about different degrees or different certifications, but just make sure whatever you're learning, you're actually going to be getting into that role and you're not wasting your time. There's a lot of people that do a lot of cert stacking and just, take tests and pass certifications, but they don't actually get to apply what they learned like in real world, but it just looks good on your wall. So I would just advise anybody that's getting into IT or that's already in it, just make sure whatever you're going to be learning, that you're going to actually use it in your next role.
Fire. All right, we'll round them up. Precious, Gladys, anyone? Last minute jump shots.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna say you all stay strong out there, guys. It's not easy, and like I said before, join community. That is the biggest thing. We didn't have that opportunity. I think, at least I didn't. So we're here to tell you you need that, and grab it as soon as you can. Join communities. Yeah, that's all I will say.
Yeah. All right, get us out of here, Lumia Text. We're gonna wrap it up. Last words. Anything that you want to say? Anything that's been coming up for you as we close out?
Well, thank you for having me. Probably what I haven't heard was also try to get a mentor right now. Nowadays, they're very helpful. I think it will save time and you actually have someone that will guide you through the right step. Have a mentor that is experienced in whatever field that you want to jump in. It can be a game changer. Yeah, and then looking forward to having more women in tech. Yes, my ladies, come let's put hands together. Thank you so much, Nate, for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you all for participating and sharing and knowledge sharing and leaning in and helping each other out. And I agree. Sometimes we do need to come at it in a certain way, and sometimes it's the right message, wrong messenger, and so that timing thing is everything. Like I'll hear my story. I heard something my wife and everyone said all along. You're so brilliant and all this other stuff. But it wasn't until that one mentor said the same thing everyone else was saying, but it flipped the switch for me, and I never looked back. And I never looked back and kept going forward. And I think that that's the power of that mentorship. When you find the right mentor, when it's authentic and it's genuine, then you will know the sparks will start flying and the sun will start shining more. No, I'm just playing. You'll know. So thank you everyone for joining in on this topic. We got more to come. Check out my profile. We have a slew of people coming through, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep bringing them in. And it's been great so far, and I thank everyone who has said yes, gave a yes, and took some time to hang out with us for an hour. We ran a little bit over, but I wish everyone a great rest of your evening, afternoon, night, maybe even morning, depending on where you are. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.